Let's resume work on our shed. In this exercise, we're going to work with textures and add color and patterns to our surfaces. But before we begin, we have to make some adjustments to our existing drawing. First, I'd like to remove these two posts that are by the building. And if I remember correctly, we've grouped all of our elements. In other words, our shade beams are grouped, our cross beams are grouped, and our posts are grouped, as well as our building. So we need to ungroup or explode our posts. So right-click on the posts, click Explode. Now they'll be independent posts. If you select them one at a time, you can just simply delete them out of the drawing. And then we'll regroup our posts. Now I think we're ready to go. There's also one more thing I'd like to do to the building so that we can make a soffit or have a roof overhang, and that is adjust the width of our building. So let's select the building, and then we'll choose the scale tool. On this control once and begin to pull it and type in 12 feet because I want to expand it to 12 feet. There it is. Press spacebar to disable the control and change my view to look down because I want to line this again with my pergola. So I'll click the move tool and I'll just align the center of the roof with the center of the beam. There we are. I think we're ready to do our skins. No, we still have to do our soffit. So change the view to ISO. And we'll need to ungroup this. So I'll right-click and explode. That should ungroup it. Now, we want to be able to push this wall in, but not the roof in. So we need to put a line in here that's about 4 inches down on both sides. So I'll use the tape, click on the edge, drop it down. I'll type 4, enter. So that's my guideline. And with L for a line drawing tool, I'll draw the tool or draw the line in. See if I can zoom in so I can catch that. There we are. Oh, I can't reach the other side now. There, we have one line. And we'll spin it around. Notice that this red line found it. It's an inference for the other side. So I'll just click there and go across. And I have it on both sides. Now I can use my push tool and push the side in. Spacebar, push tool. I'll push this side in. And I want to push this side in 1 foot. So I'll type in 12, enter. There we are. With our soffits done, we can now turn our attention toward the sides. So I need a line in here that's about 4 feet up. I use the tape tool and I'll measure 4 feet. That'll work. Notice I'm able to draw the line on the backside. There's an inference or suggestion of where that line ought to be. And I'm able to match those by clicking. I have to begin this one. So I have lines all the way around, 4 feet up. Good. But before we draw anything, before we put any of the colors in, for the let's change our view so we can see our pergola. And we're going to open the default tray if it's not open already. I'm going to pin it to stay open, and I'm going to open a window that has to do with materials. So I'll click on default tray and then find materials. This is our built-in menu of different kinds of colors and things. If I click on colors, I can see lots of different shades as I scroll down. We're not going to use colors today because we want this to look like wood. So let's go back to our selection tool and choose wood. And the wood we want to choose is the third one in the top. That would be cherry wood. Once we select that, all we have to do is click on any of our components and they'll all be that color. Now I want the timber to also be the crossbeam and the post to also be cherry wood in design, that general shade, but I want it to be darker. To make a darker shade, we just can click on Create Material, and we'll name it and make it match. So this is wood. But it's darker wood. You've seen these controls before. We're just going to change the tint, or the shade in this case, to be darker. And that looks significant enough. So I'll click OK. And we'll pour that on our posts and our timber, or on our cross beams. But let's look at the grain of this. We can actually control that grain. If I were to select, oh, did you notice that this list of options has changed? We're now looking at the materials in model, which is what we're drawing. If I click here, I can go to see all the materials again, but let's go back to the custom ones that we've just made in model. There's our dark cherry wood. Click on the tab that says Edit and change this view of it. Instead of stretched out at 6 feet, let's try it at 3 feet. Notice when I click a number, now let's change our view and start putting some siding on our shed. Okay, let's continue our siding all the way around. We'll put regular siding there, spin it around to this side, and here, only this one we're going to change again. How did we do that last time? Was it a right click, then go to texture, and position, and from position, just turn to vertical. There we are. And we'll get it to match. It should snap once it gets there. Well, with our sides set, our sides lined up, see how this looks. Okay, now we're ready to put the roof on. Now to our window. So, in our window, we want to make the color to be somewhat transparent, semi-transparent. So I'll click on glass, and it's been a tradition to make glass blue, but I've noticed glass isn't always blue, so I'm going to choose one of these grays and pour that in. And can we change the opacity of this? Can we make it somewhat transparent? Right now it's completely opaque, so I can kind of see inside, so while watching the window I'll make the changes. So about there? But let's make it darker too, because it's darker inside our shed.